Hello. Hello. But yes, the excavation of Barrow. Hob's Barrow. I was like, couldn't figure out what to play. I've been wanted to play this for a long time, and I said, hey. Then I found it, and I was like, hey, why not? So why not play the excavation of Hob's Barrow? Yeah, what I expected. So, and let me just check that the mic is working. Yes, it is. Good. Let's do this. Oh. But I hope everyone is having a great Saturday. Soon for me, Sunday. I really enjoyed this game. Well,
Ah, Miss Bateman. Welcome back to Ticehurst House. It's been quite some time. Terrible weather this evening, is it not? Nurse Blaketon has had enough of me smoking inside. Makes her cough, you see. A bit of rain won't kill me, will it? You mustn't be interested in me nattering on. Give my regards to your father. Nurse Blaketon
usually when you like a
supper.
point and click, then I also like it. It seems we had somewhat same flavor in point and clicks.
You look pale, Miss Bateman.
Especially
Do
what
head
should I?
inside. You'll catch your death out here.
But I've tried to avoid streams with Hop Sparrow because I've been told it's
Dearest
great.
mother,
Okay, do I have to click?
I hope this letter
Yeah.
will reach you. I have spent these past years in torment, trying to piece together what remains of fractured memories.
I've heard Gemini Rue, which was, I think, one of his first or one of the first ones. I've heard that could be a bit obtuse, especially some part with the shooting or something.
What I am about to recount to you will seem beyond comprehension, but I beg for your patience.
But that's the only thing I've heard. I haven't played Gemini Rue yet, or Shiva, or Unavowed, or
I will endeavour to explain the events that led me to Ticehurst House that night. As far as I can recall, this whole wretched story started with the receipt of a letter from a Mr. Leonard Shoulder. The letter brought me to the isolated village of Bewley, deep in the moors.
I got an achievement for arrival.
No station master in sight. I hope the village isn't too far away. I can't recall our exact meeting place. Mr. Shoulder mentioned it in his letter.
Okay, left click, walk, interact, right click to examine. To access the inventory and menu, move your cursor to the top of the screen. Left click on an inventory item to select it. Right click to examine it. Once an inventory item is selected, you can right click to deselect it. You can double click on an exit to teleport directly to it. The game will occasionally. One and done. The game will occasionally autosave. You can also save anytime via the menu. Quick load, quick save, map when available, and hotspots. Understood. Game saved.
Hello there. The post looks unattended. A door of fine construction. Hello? A gift from my mother. It bears my initials, TB. I have 6 shillings and 2 pence.
Hey,
My
Falcon.
assistant Kenneth is bringing more funds tomorrow. I don't like travelling with too much money on me.
What do we got over here? Nothing?
The tracks look quite untarnished. I don't think many trains come through here. I ought to read Mr. Shoulder's letter again. I can't recall the name of our meeting place.
Okay. I write this letter in the hope of piquing your curiosity. I read about your expertise in the Barrows, and if I understand correctly, you're writing a book on them and the treasures they contain. I live in the village of Bewley, where an almost special barrow can be found on the outskirts. It is rectangular in form and is certainly tall enough to stand up in. The place is steeped in local legend, and there is a rumor of secrets to be found deep within. I hope you'll not misunderstand me and find this letter intrusive. If you wish to visit Bewley and excavate the barrow, I'll be pleased to be your guide. Please send your response to the Plough and Furrow Inn, Bewley. I shall await your letter. Yours respectfully, Mr. Leonard Shoulder. Miss Bateman, Marvelous News. I shall meet you at 8 o'clock in the evening on the 14th at the new month at the Plough and Furrow Inn, Bewley. Oh, Bewley? The inn has fine rooms, which you will find adequate for your short stay. When we meet, I shall tell you more of the circumstances surrounding the site, which is referred to locally as Hob's Barrow. It is not located on my own land, but we will have no issues gaining permission to excavate. I wish you a safe journey.
I must make my way to the Plough and Furrow Inn.
Woman.
I swear she was not standing there a moment ago.
She wasn't.
Excuse me?
Yes?
Plough and Furrow Inn.
I'm looking for the Plough and Furrow Inn. Do you know where I can find it?
Ah, young lady. Leave the station and follow the dry stone wall for around half a mile. You'll come to Bewley. Go straight ahead and you'll find the market square. The inn is t'other side at square.
Thank you very much.
Really?
What can you tell me about Bewley?
Well, it used to be a thriving village. Not so much now. I don't spend much time there these days.
Are you local?
Ah, yes, a local I am. But I don't live in the village.
Where are you travelling to today?
That would be none of your business, young lady.
Quite. Apologies. I wish you a pleasant journey. I swear she was not I have nothing else to ask.
What brings you to Bewley?
I beg your pardon?
What brings you to Bewley, miss?
Lies, she looks superstitious.
Just a bit of sightseeing.
We don't get many of your type out here.
My type.
City folks. Curious young ladies. Not much to be seen in Bewley, if you ask me. You're better off waiting for the next train back to the city.
I'll take my chances.
Can't say I didn't warn you.
That was odd.
Sure was. A crow.
A humble dwelling. The old woman told me to go straight ahead to get to the inn.
I
I'll
don't
have
care.
time to explore tomorrow.
I don't care.
The old woman, I'll have
Damn it. Okay.
The blacksmith looks closed. The bucket is rusty and full of holes. This must belong to someone. I should leave it alone. The sign is in a shabby state, but the shop appears to be a cobbler's. Quite an ornate construction. This was created with pride and care. The cobbler's is closed. I don't wish to disturb the locals.
Guess this is the Ploughing Inn.
Plough and furrow. I have a bit of time before Mr. Shoulder arrives. I should inquire about a room.
Man. But the music?
Hello there. What's the young lady doing out alone in this sodden weather?
I'm heading to the Plough and
I'm
Furrow.
heading to the Plough and Furrow.
Bloody good pub, that. It has the finest ales in the whole county. Oh, I'll take you there if you like.
I believe we are standing directly in front of it.
Oh, so we are. Please,
Yes.
give us a kiss now, won't you?
No. Humor him. He usually works with men.
It's hard to refuse such an elegant offer, but I simply must go and freshen up first.
Shh.
I've had a long journey today.
Of course, lass.
Now would you please let me pass? I'm getting soaked.
Sorry, lass. Sorry. I'll come back to find you later.
Please don't. Handsome man?
What a buffoon. I should speak to the innkeeper about a room.
Game saved.
A decorative plate. This one depicts a bull. A decorative plate.
So we got... Meet Mr. Shoulder to discuss House Barrow. Rent a room. Okay. The inn.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, lass. How can I help you?
A
I
room.
am in need of a room for the night.
Aye, we aren't short of those. One night, is it?
I shall need at least 2 nights, maybe more.
Aye, 'tis not a problem. 3 shilling per night. That includes your dinner and tea.
A fair price.
I'll need that payment up front for the 2 nights.
I have 6 shillings and 2 pence. My assistant Kenneth is bringing more funds tomorrow. I don't like travelling with too much money on me. This is payment for the room.
Thank you. Can I ask for your name, lass?
Thomasina Bateman.
And will Mr. Bateman be staying with us tonight?
No, I am not wed. My assistant is arriving in Bewley tomorrow.
Your assistant, you say? Will you be needing another room?
Please.
I'll keep a room spare. It's not quite as nice as yours, I'm afraid.
Not a problem, sir. I'm sure it will be adequate. Kenneth is a man of inexpensive taste.
Here's your key. Just go through the door to the right of the bar, then up the stairs. Room number 2.
Thank you.
Can I help you with your luggage?
No, thank you, sir. I can manage. I should go upstairs and freshen up before Mr. Shoulder arrives. Good day, sir. A fine exemplar of inebriation. Good afternoon, sir.
Note for you here.
I beg your pardon?
I said there's note for you here, lass. Be on your way.
Charming. Hello, sir.
We are in the middle of a discussion here.
Sorry to interrupt. I do not need to use the lavatory.
Was there anything else we
Good
can ask him?
afternoon.
Afternoon, Miss Bateman. How can I help you?
Leonard Shoulder.
Do you know a man named Leonard Shoulder?
Aye, I know the man.
I'm to meet him here tonight.
Can I get you something to drink while you wait?
Not yet, thank you. Bye for now.
As you were.
This shall do nicely. Time to change into something more comfortable. Much better. I've stored my case in there. A box within a box. A sturdy-looking thing, useful to many a weary traveller.
Anything in the doors?
Jammed shut. The wood must have warped over the years.
Mama.
Complementary matches. Useful. There's only one match left, though. As the only light source in the room, I ought to leave this here. I
Painting?
don't want to take the painting with me. A painting of surprising quality. It portrays a rocky outcrop overlooking a vast moor. Perhaps a local landmark.
Got a plate
A
here?
decorative plate depicting a goat. The wardrobe
Water?
looks old, perhaps 100 years or more in age.
Jug of water.
This may come in handy. I
A
don't wish
bowl.
to carry the bowl around with me.
So you took a jug of water, but you don't want to take the bowl.
The innkeeper is a serious-looking man.
Miss Bateman, you've transformed.
I feel far more comfortable in my outdoor clothing.
You look like one of those explorers you see in the newspaper.
I guess you could call me an explorer of sorts.
I'm Stanley. Stanley Kemp.
A pleasure to meet you, Stanley.
And tell me, I trust your room is adequate.
Most adequate.
Maybe.
Excellent.
Beauty.
What can you tell me about Bewley?
Aye, it's a quiet place. People keep to themselves, work hard.
I look forward to exploring the village tomorrow.
There's not a lot to see, lass. But St. Edmund's Church is a fine building, worth a visit.
Stanley Kemp.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Kemp.
Well, I've been the proprietor of this inn for the last 16 years. I worked as a drover all over the country in my younger days. Saved up my coin and bought this place.
It's a fine inn.
Thank you. I often run short of ale, but my rooms are rarely full. We don't get many outsiders wanting to stay overnight here in Bewley.
Mended shoulder. Has Mr. Shoulder arrived yet?
Has Mr. Shoulder arrived yet?
Still haven't seen head nor tail of him, Miss Bateman.
What can you tell me about Mr. Shoulder?
What can you tell me about Mr. Shoulder?
Aye, he's a quiet fellow. He only comes here to check his post.
Mr.
Yes, I've
Bratcher
been
Waxy.
corresponding with him using this address.
Have you now? You found yourself an admirer.
Not quite.
What business do you have with old Leonard, then?
How you doing? I've nothing to hide.
Well, if you must know, I am what some people call a barrow digger.
A what?
A barrow digger.
What in God's name is that?
Are you familiar with tumuli?
Afraid not.
Barrow
you
is
did?
another word for tumulus, or tumuli in the plural. A profoundly interesting subject.
You've lost me.
I excavate
Tell me
ancient
more.
burial sites looking for relics. A barrow is traditionally a circular mound of raised earth enclosing a burial chamber.
Oh, aye. You're a grave robber.
I am no such thing.
Don't worry, lass. I've met all sorts in here over the years. I won't tell anyone.
Cute emotes.
I assure you, my goal is more noble than petty grave robbery.
Rock
What
defense.
sort of relics do you find, then? Gold? Silver?
Will it be some kind of
bones?
tower defense
Well,
thing?
rarely gold or silver, but treasure
Master
certainly.
farmer.
Ancient pottery is the most common find. I've been excavating barrows all over
Ahoy,
the
hoy.
country. I'm documenting my findings in preparation for my book. It shall be called Vestiges of the Antiquities in Rural
Rocks
England.
will be the towers.
Oh, aye.
Sounds fun.
Very interesting. But what does old Leonard have to do with this?
He sent me a letter in which he told me about an unusual barrow in Bewley. A site called Hob's Barrow. I'm meeting him here this evening to find out more.
I've lived here nigh on my whole life, and I've heard nowt about a Hob's Barrow.
Hob's Barrow?
Are you sure you've never heard of Hob's Barrow?
Not in my life, lass, but I'll tell you something. The moors stretch further than the eyes can see once you leave this village. There's no doubt many a discovery to be made.
Mr. Shoulder said the barrow is well known locally, a place of legend.
I'm afraid you're going to have to speak to him about it. Why are you interested in digging around in the dirt, lass? Haven't you better things to do with your time?
I enjoy nothing more than the thrill of discovery, uncovering the past and piecing together our history. I inherited this passion from my father.
Oh, a barrow digger too, eh?
Indeed. He would take me with him on excavations as a child.
Does he still come with you now, on your own adventures?
I'm afraid my father's been bedbound by illness for many years.
Oh, I am sorry to
And
hear
now
that,
we're seeing
lass.
all the
Thank
frogs.
you, Mr. Gale. He is well looked after at a private hospital. Thanks for your time.
As you were.
Can we
Do
talk
you
with
know
you?
a Mr. Leonard Shoulder?
You ought to be careful asking too many questions round here. Be on your way.
Oh, I don't mean to...
Listen to me, will you? Be on your way.
Hello, sir.
What?
I'm waiting here for a man named Leonard Shoulder. Do you know him?
I don't. Do you, love?
Never heard of him.
There you have it. Now clear off.
Wow. Old man.
Hello, sir.
Right,
Do you know a Mr. Leonard Shoulder?
you're not local. You've come on that bloody train, haven't you? Bewley's going to dogs.
Introduce yourself.
My name is Thomasina Bateman, and you are...
None of your business, lass. Where's your husband?
None of your business, sir.
Ah! You're brave coming in here, all on your own.
I'm a grown woman.
I'm
Thank you for
Cyril.
the
It's a pleasure
Big
to
emo.
make your acquaintance, Cyril.
You know what? As a courtesy, let me add those to the thing. So, and those are 25 a piece. So, there you go. 2025. What can you tell me about Leonard Shoulder?
Do you know Mr. Shoulder?
That be none of your business, lass. I don't come to your city poking around asking questions, do I? Man just wants to enjoy his ale in peace.
Railway station.
I take it you are not enamoured with the railway station.
Bewley's gonna be swarming with outsiders, like you. We don't want you coming here. It's as simple as that, lass.
Why not?
This is our town, our land.
I assure you, I am not here to cause trouble.
We'll see about that, won't we?
What can you tell us about
What can you
Bewley?
tell me about Bewley?
We're a proud community. I've lived here my whole life. Not much here to interest folks like you.
Folks like me.
Aye.
Bye for now.
Ta-ra, lass.
Mr. Shoulder should really be here by now. I'll sit down and wait.
Okay. Thank you for the 25 bits, Master Farmer. Or
Who on earth
Grandmaster
is
Farmer.
he? What a waste of time this is turning out to be.
Evening there, miss.
Not you again.
I just wanted to apologise for earlier. Looks like you freshened up, but I know I won't be getting that.
Another
case.
25?
You're
Thank you.
quite right.
I were a fool for how I carried on. I'm sorry. The
It's
train
actually
gets a
annoying
hold of
that
me
Twitch
sometimes.
hasn't made it available
start again, shall
via
we?
their
My
APIs,
name
so
is
people that have
Arthur.
like bits trackers and
Thomasina
stuff, that it
Bateman.
works that way.
What brings you to Bewley, anyway?
I'm here to meet someone, but he has not arrived.
His loss, if you ask me.
Perhaps
Is
you
that-
know the gentleman.
Is that
Mr.
from
Leonard Shoulder.
Wolfenstein?
Oh, I know Mr. Shoulder all right.
The
If I
giant
may be so
robot
bold as to
Hitler
say, he's a
robot
bit
kind of
long in
thing
the
from
tooth for
Wolfenstein
you.
3D?
The relationship is not what you're implying. I've never met him. In fact, I know very little about him at all.
Get me an ale and I'll tell you all about the old sod.
I gotta have a look at that. That's cool. That's amazing. But thank you for all the bits. You don't have to, but thank you. Now we're at 2075. Yes. Yeah, I know, but it's just annoying that Twitch doesn't put it on the tracker, and I really don't think you need another one. Let's give him
One
an ale.
ale, coming right up.
Thank you very much, Miss Bateman. Then I'll tell you all about old Leonard's shoulder.
Nah, it's just Twitch that doesn't. It's an experiment. This gigantifying emotes, so they don't make it available through their API. Because if you look at your stream data afterwards, it's marked as an experiment. It doesn't count towards your normal bits income, but it counts toward experiment.
How can I help you?
A tankard of your finest ale, Mr. Kemp.
There we are. 2 pence, please.
Thank you. This was the last of my money, but Kenneth will be here tomorrow with more funds. No, that won't achieve anything useful.
Damn it. Could be fun, though. Interesting.
Here you are, Arthur.
Thanking you. Oh, that hits the spot, that does, lass. Now then. Old Len. Leonard Shaw.
Idiot.
Arthur? Mr. Tillett? Oh, for heaven's sake. The man is in a drunken stupor. Mr. Tillett? He's not dead. Just very drunk.
Can
I'd
we
still like to hear what he has to say about Mr. Shoulder.
Can we pour water over his face?
Oh, what the hell were that for?
You passed out, Mr. Tillett.
Oh, sorry, lass. Where were I? Leonard's shoulder. Hold on another minute. I'm making for a piss.
This man is unbelievable. It feels like an hour has passed. Perhaps I should go in there and check on him.
Miss Bateman? My apologies. The ladies are closed due to faulty plumbing. You'll have to use the gents.
Lovely. Mr. Tillett?
Okay.
I would rather not get any closer. The smell of urine is nauseating. Mr. Tillett? Mr. Tillett, are you in there? The water looks highly questionable. I ought to keep my hands out of it. It looks like the towel has not been washed in months. The mirror is coated in a thick layer of grime. Some excavations are best left to others. Mr. Tillett, are you in there? Well, you're not
Kitty?
Mr. Tillett. I'd rather not touch it. The thing stinks to high heaven. The mangy thing is fast asleep. I certainly won't be cleaning the mirror.
Oh, sorry.
The door opens a crack, but appears to be blocked from the other side. I think I can hear someone moving around. Mr. Tillett? Arthur, are you out there? Judging from the draft coming from below, this door must lead outside. I should investigate further. I can't reach the window from down here.
How can I help you?
The toilet door.
There's a door to the outside in the gents' lavatories. Why is it bolted?
That door doesn't even have a lock.
So you didn't lock the door?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Have you seen Arthur Tillett?
I thought he were with you.
He went to the lavatory and has not returned.
That sounds like Arthur Tillett. Don't worry, lass. He'll be back.
Thanks for your time.
As you were.
Good evening, sir.
We go around the back.
Excuse me, sir.
A glove.
A single glove is lying in the mud. A pearly white gent's glove. It's certainly unlike anything Mr. Tillett was wearing. Seems rather out of place here. Peculiar.
There's a wood here.
Someone has wedged the door shut. Mr. Tillett. Why would he have done that? Did Mr. Tillett leave, then block the door behind him? Something strange is going on here. Who was that old chap I saw outside the alley? He headed eastward. Maybe I could catch up with him and ask him if he saw Mr. Tillett. Sturdy-looking barrels, no doubt used to store ale. The post has been embellished with a fine bronze bust of a horse. I could tether a horse. Sir? I don't wish to go knocking door to door. The old man has disappeared into the darkness. I'd best turn back to the inn.
A figure slips into the night.
I don't wish to go knocking.
Last orders.
I should get some sleep. Finding the missing men of Bewley shall have to wait for tomorrow. There's nothing else I wish to discuss at the moment. A majestic animal, cut down in his prime. The inn is closing soon. I should get some sleep.
Okay.
Kenneth will be arriving tomorrow at midday. I should get some sleep.
Not yet. Perhaps a little more time in front of the fire.
crackling fireplace is more welcoming than the facial expressions of the locals. A pixie-faced peasant boy, painted in a naive style. This painting shows a Rubenesque figure brushing her hair. Quite unusual to see such a sensual work in a room like this. A colourful work depicting a bashful knight. It is signed N. Hamley. A biblical scene of some kind. An angel is depicted looking longingly to the heavens. The inn is closing soon. And no Mr. Shoulder. I should get some sleep and find him tomorrow. It's a crudely painted scene that appears to be of a biblical nature.
Menu.
Prices are cheap here.
Let's
Kenneth
go.
will be arriving. Yes,
Go to bed.
I must get some sleep. I shall track down Mr. Shoulder tomorrow.
Miss Bateman,
Yes?
off to bed?
Yes. I'm afraid Mr. Shoulder's let me down.
The rotter. Perhaps he will make himself known tomorrow.
I should hope so. This is turning into a waste of my time.
Ah, don't mind the locals, miss. It's just that we don't get a lot of visitors in Bewley.
Quite.
They mean well, believe me.
Sure, Mr. Kemp.
Please, call me Stanley.
Good night, Stanley.
Sleep well, Miss Bateman.
A cat? Birthday adventures.
Such horrid dreams.
So far, the outside and music are very good. Yeah, I'm liking it. From what I hear, it's been highly appraised by everyone that has played it.
Bolted from the inside, just as I left it last night. As I suspected, I must have dreamt of that wretched-looking cat. I must say I'm relieved. Right then. Let's see if I can track down the elusive Leonard Shoulder. I'm rather anxious to get to this Barrow. I also wonder what happened to Mr. Tillett.
Save. Day 2. Do I need something from
I've
my
stored
chest?
my case in there. A box within a box. I've
The
hung
wardrobe?
my dress inside. Aside from that, the wardrobe is empty.
Good morning, Miss Bateman.
Good day, Stanley.
Should I go to the lavatory?
I must say, last night has rather put me off using these toilets.
Let's talk to Stanley Kemp.
Did you sleep well, Miss Bateman?
Not really. I have the rather queer recollection of a cat entering my room last night.
A cat, you say?
Yes, an odd-looking grey one. I must have been dreaming, as I locked the door and windows before I went to sleep. I saw a similar cat in the lavatories while searching for Mr. Tillett.
Ah, Herbert. Oh, he's a harmless thing. He comes in now and then searching for scraps.
Indeed. Seeing him in the lavatories must have conjured up the strange dream.
The mind is capable of manifesting frightful things, Miss Bateman. I'm happy to report the rain of yesterday has lifted. It's a clear morning outside. Crisp. I've prepared a room for your assistant. What time will he be arriving today?
His train will get in around midday. Kenneth will also be bringing my excavation equipment.
Crisp,
Oh,
yes.
aye. What does that entail?
Picks, shovels, buckets, lighting and such. He usually packs it in a large crate. Come to think of it, I'll need somewhere to store it.
You're welcome to use the alley behind the inn for any such bulky items.
Is it safe to do such a thing?
Is it safe to do such a thing?
I can assure you the local folk are not thieves, Miss
You came up
Bateman.
with 2 game ideas.
not what I-
okay.
Now, say
So you
nothing
have,
more of it.
besides the tower
you,
defense
Stanley.
thing,
I'll
or...
let you get on with your day.
I'll be back with my assistant when he arrives.
Miss Bateman,
Yes?
I've something I wish to get off my chest,
The other one is
as
a-
it were.
Is an idler?
I've been
In
tossing
what
and turning
sense?
all night, Miss Bateman. I feel rotten, I really do.
What on earth are you talking about?
As you know, I like to run an honest establishment. And well, I have not been
That kind of
honest with you,
idler.
lass.
Okay.
I do know of Hobbs Barrow.
You do?
I do. Many here do. There are
Do what they
stories
want?
tied to
That
that
sounds
place,
fun.
you know. If I've learned anything in this
Will you be
life,
able to
it's that
interact
some
with them?
stones
Like
are best
feeding
left
them,
unturned.
tap on the glass and stuff?
Old Leonard Shoulder is someone to be wary of
At
too.
RPG
I
stats,
can't
the
tell
fish?
you what
That
to do,
sounds
lass,
fun.
but you'd best avoid him.
Hobbs Barrow.
Why lie to me about Hobbs Barrow?
I know, lass, I know. I feel
That sounds
dreadful.
fun.
But why? What are these stories you speak of?
I really can't tell you more. If you insist on visiting that place, you'll have to seek out Mr. Shoulder. He brought you here. He should be the one to tell you.
I must say, Mr. Kemp, this is all quite puzzling. I've never let local superstitions stop me in the past. I pride myself on being a woman of logic and reason. I've no time to waste on such matters.
As I say, seek out Mr. Shoulder. He can tell you more.
Where is Hobbs Barrow?
Where is Hobbs Barrow?
I don't know. I say that on my mother's grave, Miss Bateman.
I now find that hard to believe.
The moors are vast, lass. I'd tend not to go wandering out there. A grown man could lose himself and not be seen again.
Mr. Shoulder.
Why must I be wary of Mr. Shoulder?
The man has a certain reputation.
For what?
You've seen it already. Were he here to meet you last night?
Yeah, everybody's
No.
saying it's a great game.
Precisely.
Even Mitchell.
A man
And
not to be
Mitchell says it's a
trusted.
great game. Where does Mr. Shoulder
Where
live?
does Mr. Shoulder live?
I can't say for sure. As I think I told you last night, he's a quiet man and keeps to himself. He only comes in here to collect his post. Leads me to believe he lives a fair distance away. Certainly not in the village itself.
Might someone around Bewley be able to help me find him?
You could ask around. As I say, lass, Bewley folk mean well. Don't forget that.
I shall return later.
Good day to you, lass.
So what is my to-do list? I have to explore and find Mr. Shoulder. But before I do that, I need to feed the cats because they're getting annoying. So I'll be right back. Kitty's been fed, so that's good. Resume. Exit.
It seems I may be fighting a battle against some sort of local superstition. Is there a single barrow in England that doesn't have some ghastly tale attached to it? Hogwash. All of it. I've a few hours until Kenneth arrives. I should use this time to find Mr. Shoulder.
Map unlocked. What was the... What was the key for the, Could I hit M? M for the map. The man.
Hello.
Introduce yourself.
My name is Thomasina, and you are...
Now then, that's none of your concern, love.
Himself?
What do you do around here?
Hey up, you're not scared of sticking your neb in. I
I'm
look
not.
after the churchyard. Dig the graves.
The church.
What can you tell me about the church?
Aye, it's a church.
Quite.
Leonard Shoulder.
Do you know a man named Leonard Shoulder?
I don't know out about no Leonard Shoulder.
Hob's Barrow.
What can you tell me about Hobbs Barrow?
Not to be found digging around in those things.
You know of local barrows, then?
Don't concern yourself.
Bewley.
What can you tell me about Bewley?
Not much around here, love. Not worth mentioning to you, like.
Oh.
I see. Goodbye.
Ta-ra.
Ta-da. Anything in the alley?
Nobody home. The road disappears over the horizon. I see nothing but moorland.
What about this door?
I don't think anyone is home. Hello?
Yes?
Introduce yourself.
My name is Thomasina. What's yours?
Douglas?
It's a pleasure to meet you, Douglas.
Mighty fine sword.
It's a great sword technique you have.
Thanks, miss. Mr. Crozier's gonna make me a real one when I turn 12. I'm preparing myself to fight the lantern worm.
Lambton worm?
What is the lambton worm?
It's gonna come back and get us all. John Lambton thought he killed it at the River Ware, but my father told me it still lives. We must all be prepared.
The lambton worm isn't real, Douglas. Father just told you that to get you out of his hair.
Not true. I saw it slithering out by the beck. Like a giant eel it were. I ran home so fast I thought I would fly.
Sorry, miss. My brother has a vivid imagination.
Children often do at his age.
I'll keep training. You will all thank me when I thrust my sword deep into its fat belly.
Douglas, this lady doesn't want to hear your nonsense.
What do you know about
Do
Bewley?
you like living in Bewley?
Yeah, I do. Are you from the city?
I'm from a long way away.
You must have come on the train. I love watching all the steam puff up into the sky.
Have you been on the train yourself?
No, miss. Our parents don't have the money for train tickets. Father says we have all we need here in Bewley.
Perhaps this nice lady would like to take you away with her on the train.
No, I need to stay and protect Bewley from the lantern worm.
Leonard Shoulder.
Do you know a man called Leonard Shoulder?
That's a funny name.
Hob's Barrow.
Have you heard of Hobbs Barrow?
What's that?
A local burial mound.
Our parents don't let us wander far from the village.
What's a burial mound?
Don't you mind about that, Douglas.
Mr. Crozier.
Who's Mr. Crozier?
He's a blacksmith. His forge is just over there on the other side of the square.
Don't you think 12 years of age is a little young for a real sword?
I'll be a master swordsman by then.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, miss.
What about the beautiful young woman?
Good day.
Hello, miss.
Introduce yourself.
My name is Thomasina. What's yours?
Betty.
Nice to meet you, Betty.
Herself.
What are you up to?
My brother is practicing his sword fighting technique. I'm to watch him until he tires himself out.
I'm tireless.
This time last month it were all about his teaspoon collection. This month it's swords.
Leonard
Do
Shoulder.
you know a man named Leonard Shoulder?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Hobbs Barrow.
What do you know of Hobbs Barrow?
Our parents don't like us talking to strangers, miss.
So you know of it?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Goodbye.
Bye, miss.
Let me just see, did it work? It did post on my Twitter. Yay. Let's see if we can go to the door over here.
No one here.
Oops, I made a mistake. I need to correct that.
I don't think anyone is home.
Talk to the
Good
blacksmith.
day.
Yes?
Mr. Crozier, I presume.
Aye, George Crozier, at your service.
Introduce yourself.
My name is Thomasina.
Aye, can I help you?
Your life, and I ended. Oh, right. Oh, hey, Cherry. No worries, no worries. Yeah, I don't, I don't have a set schedule, so I just go live whenever I feel like it. But how was your game?
Are you a Bewley native, Mr. Crozier?
Aye, born and bred. That's where my father's forge before mine.
Business.
How is business faring?
I do an honest trade. There'll always be horses needing shoes and farmers needing tools. You let me know if you need out.
So you're gonna
mended.
play that Star
I'll do
Wars
you a fair
Outlaws as
price.
well, or
Thank you, Mr. Crozier.
are you gonna stick with only those two and then find something else?
Do you know a man by the name of Leonard Shoulder?
Oh, aye. Old Leonard.
Have you seen him recently?
Yes,
No,
the recent
not
Star Wars
recently.
game.
Do you know where he lives?
Why all these questions,
Okay.
lass?
It was released
To
like
speak with him. He invited me to Bewley.
3 or 4
you'll
months
turn
ago,
up. I've seen him in the plough and furrow from
where you
time to
play
time.
like a girl.
But do you know where he lives? I need to find him.
I'm
I
not gonna
believe
say
he lives
much.
somewhere out on the moors. Can't tell you out more than that.
Thank you, Mr. Crozier.
But it's called Star Wars Outlaws, where you are this girl fighting to survive, and you meet like Jabba the Hutt and different cartels and vast cities and stuff. So yeah,
Do you
Hobbs
know
Barrow.
of a local landmark named Hobbs Barrow?
There's a fair many barrows found out on the moors, lass. Too many to put a name to. Not a soul in Bewley pays them any mind.
Bewley.
What can you tell me about Bewley?
We don't get many visitors here, outside of market days. But there's plenty of work for the village blacksmith. Where are you from, then?
I arrived yesterday on the train from London, by way of Derby.
Oh, aye. I've heard about London.
What have you heard?
Plenty of factories there.
Yeah, a lot of
Yes,
people
indeed.
like it, and then
The city
there's a
is
lot of
always
people that
changing
don't
and
like it
moving
because
forward.
Too busy for me.
I'm not
though,
gonna
lass.
spoil it for
I
you,
prefer
but
a
there are some
quiet
people that don't
pace.
like it because there's, let me say, an adequate amount of the force in it.
When do market days run in Bewley?
Once or twice a month. The next one is tomorrow.
How delightful.
And then the developer is
Unless your
Ubisoft,
vice
and
is
people,
cabbages,
there's a lot of
throwing
people
out
that don't like
interest to young
Ubisoft.
lady.
I don't mind a cabbage.
Then you're in luck.
Thanks for your time.
Aye. Speak to you later.
There's a fossil here.
Fantastic specimen. Alas, it is not mine to take.
Can I ask him
Good
about
day.
Yes?
the fossil?
I noticed your spectacular fossil specimen.
Oh, aye. I collect them. This one is called an...
Ammonite.
I'm impressed, lass.
From the Jurassic period, I'd venture.
Do you collect them too, then?
My true interests lie in comparatively modern history.
Oh, aye. Well, I do love a fossil. It's important to remember that we all end up in the soil eventually.
Quite. Thanks for your time.
Aye. Speak to you later.
I'm just curious. Can I... Is this a place to go down here, or... It is.
This house looks pleasant. I don't think anyone is home. A storeroom of some kind. It's rather empty. A storeroom of some...
The supply here.
Royal Mail, Postmaster's Residence. This must be the local post office. Royal Mail, this must be...
Okay. Whoops. Okay. An old woman. Cakes.
A fine assortment of baked goods. A lovely treat for those who enjoy such things. Unfortunately, I don't think the cakes are free.
There's a lot of flowers here. A trowel.
Excuse me, do you think anyone would mind if I borrowed this trowel?
You help yourself, dear. Father Roach won't mind lending it. Just be sure to put it back when you're finished.
Of course, thank you.
I don't know what I'm
It is
supposed
more
to...
blessed to give than to receive.
I don't know why I need it, but hey.
In memory of Romeo Hegg, dearly missed by his beloved Juliet.
Let's read all the memorial plaques.
In memory of Peter Black. In memory of William Ager. In memory of Mabel Hurst. In memory of Benjamin Garkham. In memory of Millicent Smith. In memory of George Paxton. In memory of Barnaby Tillett. In memory of Percival Roach. In memory of Romeo Hegg, dearly missed by his beloved Juliet. In memory of Henry Crozier. Hello.
Good day. Would you like to buy one of these cakes, pet?
What kind of cakes do you have?
What kind of cakes do you have?
I have some lovely Bakewell puddings. The sweetest marriage of almond and jam. I can tell you're not from around here, because if you were, you would know about my Bakewell puddings. They are quite famous.
Alas, I'm not carrying any money with me.
That's unfortunate, pet. I'm sorry, I can't give them away for free. The money goes to the church, you see, and one cannot shirk one's duty to the church.
I understand.
Introduce yourself. Sure.
My name is
Go
Thomasina.
do you do.
What's yours?
Mrs. de Plancy.
A pleasure to meet you, Mrs. de Plancy.
Likewise, pet.
Mrs.
Tell
de
me about
Plancy.
yourself, Mrs. de Plancy.
About me? What would you possibly want to know about me? I've been attending St. Edmund's Church my whole life. I always want to help where I can, so I sell my baked goods, and all the proceeds go to its upkeep. This place means so much to me.
Cake?
Your cakes look delicious.
I can assure you they are. You'll not find better in the entire county.
St. Edmund's Church.
What can you tell me about St. Edmund's Church?
Isn't it the finest building? It's been standing here since the 12th century. The box pews in the nave are very fine and date back to the 17th century. The door is open if you'd like to worship.
Thank you, Mrs. Duplancy.
Leonard Shoulder.
Do you know a local man called Leonard Shoulder?
Yes, I know Leonard. What business do you have with him?
It's a long story, but I'm trying to find where he lives.
I'm afraid I don't know, dear. Father Roach has access to the parish register. He might be able to help you.
Father Roach? What can you tell me about Father Roach?
What can you tell me about Father Roach?
He is a lovely man and an exemplary servant of the Lord. He's been the vicar of St. Edmund's for many years.
Where can I find Father Roach?
Where can I find Father Roach?
At this time of day, he'll be taking his exercise in Herne Wood, to the west of the village.
Thank you. I'll go find him.
Be sure to listen out for his merry whistling. Such a jolly man.
Where can I find him
Where
again?
can I find Father Roach again?
West from the city?
This time of day, he'll be taking his exercise in Herne Wood, to the
the
west
west.
of the village.
Thank you, Mrs. Duplancy.
Hobbs Barrow.
What do you know of Hobbs Barrow?
Hobbs what?
Hobbs Barrow, a local burial mound.
The only place of burial I know about and care for is in this very churchyard.
Thank
And
you for your time.
Lord be with you.
Goodness me, look at these box pews. I've never seen any as tall as that before. Most unusual architecture, even for the Normans.
There's a necklace here.
Someone has left a necklace hanging here. A silver cross. Sterling by the look of it. Maybe I can reunite it with its owner. I think this might be genuine sterling silver. A fine white glove, gents style. I found it in the alleyway behind the plough and furrow. There is a single match remaining inside. The flowers have long since dried out. I don't want them. A memorial list of former vicars. They stretch back several hundred years.
Ox pews?
Locked. Locked as well. I think they all might be.
Let's go.
I can admire the craftsmanship from afar.
Take care and good night.
This
Have a
must
good
be
one.
where the local vicar sacrifices the newborns. I've no time for...
What?
This must be where the local vicar sacrifices the newborns.
Sacrifices? But good night. Have a good night's sleep.
It's locked.
Boy, introduce yourself.
Hello there. My name's Thomasina.
Yeah?
Himself.
How are you?
Go away!
Leonard Shoulder.
Do you know a man called Leonard Shoulder?
No,
Hobbs Barrow.
Have you heard of a place called Hobbs Barrow?
no.
Goodbye.
What about this cute little girl? Oh, there's dolls here. There's a fossil here.
Remarkable. A gargantuan fossilized ammonite. This would look fantastic on my mantelpiece.
Hey! Stay away from that!
Don't touch it!
It's bad luck to touch the Ammon's horn. I'm serious.
Fine.
Hey! Stay away!
Don't
It's bad luck. I'm serious.
Fine.
Can we ask about the
I
Ammon's
can't
horn?
think of anything else to talk about. Good day, little one. What's your name?
Hello, miss. I'm Jane and this is my brother Wally.
Lovely to meet you. I'm Thomasina.
I'd introduce you to my dolls, but they're drying out at the moment.
The beck.
This is a lovely little beck.
It's where we get our water, miss. It's good for drinking and cleaning.
The dolls?
Your dolls look lovely, Jane.
Thank you, miss. I love them very much. Today was their bath day.
Ammon's horn.
Tell me more about the Ammon's horn.
Daddy said we should never touch it. It will make the god angry.
What god?
Ammon, of course.
Go along with Ammon's story.
How wonderful. I'll be sure not to touch it. I wouldn't want to anger the gods.
Sensible.
Wally.
Wally doesn't say much.
He's mardy with me because he's bored, miss. He thinks he's too old to play with dolls.
I see.
Parents.
Where are your parents?
They are picking apples from the big tree in our yard. Daddy and I sell them at the market.
That sounds nice.
But they don't mind us playing at the beck, as long as we don't touch the Ammon's horn.
Leonard
Do you know
Shoulder.
an old man called Leonard Shoulder?
No, miss.
Hob's Barrow.
Have you heard of a place called Hob's Barrow?
Jane! No, miss.
Are you sure?
I swear.
Goodbye.
Bye, miss.
The delicate flowers smell rather sweet.
Marta Varna, hello.
Sweet little flowers. I do enjoy the charm of a babbling beck.
How are you doing? Are you okay, sir? Mm-mm-mm.
Very sorry. Oh, the shame. This malaise will not pass. Oh, the nausea. I need your help, young lady.
Tell me what you need.
Let the blood from my arm.
Excuse me?
Cut me. I beg you.
I don't wish to look too closely. I'm not going near...
Spectacles.
Ouch! The broken lens is extremely sharp.
Can we use my handkerchief?
This handkerchief was a gift from my mother. I hope she will understand. This should work.
Is it the vicar?
Are you sure you want me to do this?
Yes, it will cure me of my ills.
I shall do as you ask, Father.
How are you doing, Mr. Varna?
Thank the Lord for my spare pair. God bless you. I already feel quite better.
I'm glad, Father.
The rapid healing properties of bloodletting cannot be overstated. I'm Frederick Roach, vicar of St. Edmund's Church.
My name is Thomasina Bateman. It's a pleasure to meet
Can
you.
we somewhat call him Papa Roach? Himself. Are you feeling better?
Are you feeling better?
Yes, thank you.
What ails you, Father Roach?
I just ate a rotten berry, that's all. I like
Yes.
to pick blackberries for my supper, you see. They are quite delicious, as long as you mind the bramble. My apologies again. I
I
wish
think
we
that's
had
the
met in
actual
different
joke here.
circumstances.
Papa Roach cutting himself. Well, I just know the band Papa Roach, but I don't know any of their like hit songs or anything. Are you from Bewley
Are you from
originally?
Bewley originally?
I was born in our very own St. Edmunds. It's quite the story.
Do tell.
My mother was sheltering there as a frightful tempest raged. And lo, did her waters break right there and then in that pew.
One could say that you were born into your role, Father.
Indeed. When my mother told me the story as a young boy, I knew that this was my calling.
St. Edmund's Church. They have a song called Last Resort where Cut Myself is in the lyrics. Ah. Sir Edmund is a fine building.
St. Edmunds is a fine building.
Thank you for saying so. It's hard work keeping her in good shape, but our congregation is always willing to lend a hand in the Lord's name.
What is it like being the vicar here?
What is it like being the vicar here?
Every day is a blessing, my child. I have a great love for our parish, and the Lord looks after us.
There we go. Then I fixed it. There we go. What about your congregation?
What about your congregation?
Numbers have fallen over the years, I must say. But those that remain are faithful and full of his spirit.
Leonard Shoulder. I'm looking for Leonard Shoulder.
I'm looking for Mr. Leonard Shoulder.
Oh, yes? Are you a relative?
No, it's a long story, but he invited me to Bewley.
And he didn't tell you his address?
He was to meet me last night at the Plough and Furrow, but he never came.
I see. Well, let me welcome you to Bewley on his behalf.
Thank you, Father.
Do you know where Mr. Shoulder lives?
Do you know where Mr. Shoulder lives?
Let me think. It's been many moons since I've paid him a visit.
Perhaps you could allow me to take a look at the parish register.
No need. I remember it now. A fair hike across the moors.
Could you please give me directions?
I'll take you there myself. It's the least I can do after you aided me so.
Capital. Thank you.
Just let me know when you're ready to pay him a visit. I'll be resting here for the time being.
Hobbs Barrow.
What do you know of Hobbs Barrow?
I can't say I've heard of it.
It's supposedly a famous local landmark.
I'm afraid I know nothing about it.
Bewley.
What can you tell me about Bewley?
It's a quiet town. The railway line, which I presume you arrived by, is the only news of note we've had here for years.
I've heard the new station has received a mixed reaction.
I've heard many a debate, it's true. But my role is not to adjudicate on that matter. I'm very busy in my own work, you see.
Thank you for your time.
Lord be with you.
I'll be heading to bed soon, but I am sure glad to see you all here. Have a pleasant evening. And pleasant night. There's a hole here. An exit here. Anything else I can look at? Let's look at the
I've
hole.
no desire to go rooting about in there.
What about using the trowel?
That's a peculiar idea.
I shall see you later this evening, gents. Well, I say.
How I like this game?
Greetings, my dear.
Well,
Hello,
I
sir.
just started,
A
but
pause
the
on your
voice
visit, for I
acting
shall see
and
you
the
again soon.
graphics so far is amazing.
Wait!
And from
Some
what I've
nerve.
heard from people, they really
Lady,
enjoy it.
You're blushing.
I most certainly am not.
From what I've heard, a lot of people saying that that is one of their favorite watching eye games. Let's talk to the man.
Sorry, lass. No way through here today.
Just let me pass, says who?
Says who?
Lord
You loved it?
Hanswick. Now get back before you find yourself under a falling tree.
Introduce yourself.
My name is Thomasina Bateman.
Oh, aye? You're not from round here, Thomasina Bateman.
No, just visiting.
Himself.
What is your name, sir?
Horace.
Are you in charge here?
I am indeed.
The arrogant man.
Tell me, who was that arrogant man here just now?
Just someone passing by.
It sounded like you knew him better than that.
I don't mean to be disrespectful, but that's none of your business.
What about work?
What are you doing here?
What does it look like I'm doing? We're chopping down trees.
There is no need to be sarcastic.
We're employed by Lord Panswick. He's ordered us to gather logs from his woods. That's what we're doing.
Woods?
These are his woods.
Aye, his lordship owns most of the land round Beoley.
Lord Panswick.
Who is Lord Panswick?
Our governor.
He's the governor of the whole town.
All right, Owen, back to work now.
He lives in Bewley.
Aye, not far away. But his lordship doesn't like questions. Or visitors. Now please leave us to our work.
Leonard Shoulder.
Do you know a man named Leonard Shoulder?
No, I don't. Can you let me get back to my work now?
Have you heard of a place called Hobb's Barrow?
Can't say I have.
Logs.
Why are you gathering logs for Lord Panswick?
By heck, you ask a lot of questions. If you must know, his lordship is repairing an old ruin on his land. We need the timber for the restoration work.
How intriguing. What type of ruin is Lord Panswick restoring?
An old chapel.
I should rather like to see it.
Not possible. His lordship does not welcome visitors to his estate.
Thanks for your time.
We'll be done by tomorrow morning. Come back then if you want to explore the woods.
I'll let him get on with his work. I'll let him get on.
Lass, there's no way...
I'm gonna wait with that.
I don't think anyone...
What about this door?
Bugger off!
Ah, the unmistakable charm of old Cyril.
Bugger off!
Ah.
Charming man. Okay. Let's talk to the man, Arthur Tillett.
Mr. Tillett, where did you go last night?
Have we met?
Last night at the Plough and Furrow.
Oh, Miss Bateman. I were blind drunk last night and woke up with a stinking headache.
I wonder why.
Still smell like a brewery.
Sorry.
You went to use the lavatory and never came back, Mr. Tillett. I searched everywhere for you.
I think I remember you bought me a drink.
I did.
Then it's all a blur. I woke up in my bed this morning with my wife sour at me for waking her at some ungodly hour.
Last night.
About last night.
What were you going to tell me about Leonard Shoulder?
What were you going to tell me about Leonard Shoulder?
Who?
Leonard Shoulder. You told me you knew him. And promised to tell me more if I bought you a drink. Which I did. So what were you going to tell me?
I don't really know the old bugger.
But you said you did.
Oh, aye. No, I know naught about him. No, naught about Leonard Shoulder.
I don't believe you. He's hiding something.
You're hiding something, Mr. Tillett. I don't believe you.
I say a lot of things when I've got the drink in me. I probably just wanted you to buy me an ale.
A likely story.
Look, what would I gain from lying to you? I just wanted another drink.
Even if that's the case, it doesn't explain your disappearance.
Aye, I don't remember out.
Last night.
About last night.
You really don't remember where you went last night?
You really don't remember where you went last night?
As I say, it's all a blur. I remember needing a piss. Then... nothing. Well, you must have missed me when I came out.
I did not. I even went to the gents' toilets to find you.
Oh, aye. A sight for sore eyes.
It was. I checked everywhere, and you were nowhere to be found. The back door leading to the alleyway was blocked from the outside.
Oh, aye?
Yes. You must have exited through that door, Mr. Tillett.
But you just said it were blocked.
There must be an explanation.
My mind has drawn a blank.
Why was the door blocked? Did you block it?
I told you I don't remember. I've nought to say 'cause I remember nought.
Himself.
How's your headache faring?
It feels like a steam engine is driving full pelt in a circle around me skull.
Be sure to drink plenty of water, Mr. Tillett.
Aye, aye. I'll survive.
Railway station.
So you work here?
Aye. Bewley Station Master at your service. Would you like to buy a ticket?
Not just yet, thank you. I understand that some of the locals are not too happy about this new station.
Aye. I'd go as far as saying the whole village.
How long has the station been open for?
About 3 months. We're on the Midland Railway line. This employment's been a saviour for me. If I weren't stood here, I'd be drinking my life away at the pub right now. It's worth the occasional withering look from Cyril and the rest of them.
Station master.
What does a station master do?
A bit of this and a bit of that. I don't wish to bore you with such things.
As you wish.
My responsibilities here keep me on the straight and narrow, I'll tell you that much. A sense of duty can do wonders for a lost soul.
Indeed. This must be a rather lonesome post to occupy.
Trains pass through here more regularly than you might think, lass.
Lord Panswick.
What can you tell me about Lord Panswick?
Oh, you've heard of his lordship, then?
Yes. Do you know him?
Aye. He comes into the village from time to time, gives sweets to the children, hires young men to work his land. He's well liked around here.
I sense some hesitation, Mr. Tillett.
Well, we kind of have an unspoken agreement with his lordship. He looks after us, provided we leave him alone.
I don't follow.
He likes his privacy.
Some people do.
No one is allowed to visit him.
Do you mean to say that he's a bit eccentric?
No. I've heard people got fired at when approaching his manor uninvited.
Good grief. But is this true?
Well, I won't be the one to find out.
Farewell for now.
Ta-ra!
So what is my to-do list? Still have to explore Bailey and travel to Mr. Solder's residence.
Mr. Tillett is right there.
A cat and a crow.
Good day.
Yes?
Lord
What
Panswick.
can you tell me of Lord Panswick?
His lordship commands much respect around here, lass. Keeps me busy with work. Why do you ask?
Just curious. Thanks for your time.
Aye. Speak to you later.
Good day.
Hello, miss.
What do you know about Lord Panswick?
Not a lot. I know he's in charge around here.
Does he come to the village often?
Not really. He has a manor out on the moors.
Have you ever been there?
Heavens, no. Villagers aren't allowed there.
Why not?
Dunno. It's just the way it is.
Goodbye.
Bye, miss.
What about you, kid?
Hello.
Yes?
What do you know about Lord Panswick?
He gave me some sweets once. My friend says that Lord Panswick has special trees at his manor that grow sweets on their branches. Do you think that's true, miss?
I think that's very unlikely.
Me too.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, miss.
Let's go into the inn. Where the hell is he?
I must say, last night is... Hello? What can you tell me about Lord Panswick?
Naught to say, except don't be sniffing around his lordship's manor. You'll end up with a round of shot in you.
I beg your pardon?
You heard me. Just mind your own business around here.
Wow.
Ta-ra.
Okay, let's go back to... What's her face? The girl, the woman at the... no. The church. The
Hello.
planting.
Good day.
What do you know about Lord
Oh, we haven't
Panswick?
tried to go right from here.
Wretched man. They say he is restoring a chapel near his manor. But for whom and to what god, I ask?
Is he a man of faith?
I've barely seen him set foot in St. Edmunds. It doesn't stop him from acting as our God-given ruler. Stay away from him, pet. Don't get yourself tangled up in local affairs.
I certainly don't intend to. Thank you for your...
Lord be...
Hello?
Good day.
Why did you...
He hides in that manor of his and cares not for his people. I've heard stories whispered in the pews, you know.
What kind of stories?
That he shoots people on sight. Anyone that strays onto Panswick Manor.
Good grief.
Yet he will walk into the plough and furrow and buy ale for all and be hailed as our protector. I answer to God and God alone. Forgive me, pet. I shouldn't get so worked up.
Not at all. I appreciate your honesty, Mrs. Duplancy. Thank you for your time.
Lord be with you.
So, what happens if we go right?
Here lies Margaret Tillett, beloved mother, wife, and sister. John Purchase, dearly beloved husband of Florence. Forever in light, Anne Kemp. Joseph Davis. Samuel Bryden. Death is only a shadow across the path to heaven. Here lies Elizabeth Farnaby. This appears to be a recently dug, unmarked grave.
Can we...
I may be a barrow digger, but I am no grave robber. William Paxton, modest and gentle of heart.
This is a big freaking map.
A fine spot to take a rest.
Okay. Okay. Cairn.
I've seen cairns like this all over England, quite common. The locals might be alarmed if I dismantle their cairn. The moors continue for miles in this direction. I don't wish to lose my way.
Okay. What's down here? Mushrooms.
I'd better not touch them. They could be poisonous. I'm not sure.
Can I dig here?
That's a peculiar...
No.
The moors stretch into the distance. I don't wish to wander aimlessly.
Okay, so I guess the only option we have left
John dearly
is the vicar, right? I believe we had explored everything. From what I can do at this point.
It's locked.
Let's go to the vicar. Papa Roach. Oh, let's go ask the kids up here at the back.
What do you know about Lord Panswick?
I heard he owns the whole county.
Have you met him?
No, he lives out on the moors somewhere. But everyone does what he tells them to.
Why's that?
Because he has a lot of money.
Goodbye.
What about the little kid?
I have nothing else to ask for the time being.
Okay.
What do you know of Lord Panswick?
Oh, yes. A rather important fellow around here. His vast land holdings give many a steady employment.
I hear he is renovating an old chapel on his land.
Aye, I've heard such reports. He believes this to be a godless land. Something I wholeheartedly disagree with. To which god his chapel will be dedicated to remains a matter of concern.
Why do you say that?
Oh, my apologies. Don't listen to my oafish conjecture. Let us move on.
I'm ready to go to Mr. Shoulder's house.
I'm ready to go to Mr. Shoulder's house.
Excellent. I feel the fresh air will do me well. Follow me.
Sorry, Zero. And hi. Sorry.
Good morning, Father.
Good morning, Mrs. Duplancy. Mrs. Duplancy, this is Thomasina Bateman, a visitor to our parish.
We've already had the pleasure of meeting, Father.
Excellent. Miss Bateman, don't hesitate to try one of Mrs. Duplancy's wonderful cakes.
Yes, I've heard about her famous Bakewell puddings.
I'll be here all day, young lady. But remember, once they're gone, they're gone. Those little whelps have already gobbled up all the gingerbread.
You are doing God's work, Mrs. Duplancy.
He smiles upon us, Father.
Miss Bateman, if you'd like to follow me.
Bar weep crown, I weep penny bog.
Let's talk of grave, of wrongs, and...
How many did you get? How many attempts? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 attempts. Good for you. GG.
Epitaphs. Make dust our paper, and with
Is this fully
rainy
released?
eyes,
Yes.
write sorrow
I think it was
on the
released
bosom
somewhat
of the earth.
last year?
Let's choose executors.
Or the beginning
and
of
talk
this year?
wills.
Shakespeare?
I think it was
Right.
last year.
Which play?
Richard II.
Richard II.
Correct. You are well read, Miss Bateman. Studying the work of the bard is one of my favorite pastimes. Follow me.
That was just a guess.
Behold, the vast expanse of God's creation. The moors extend as far as the mortal eye can see. Beautiful, is it not?
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
The beauty of God's creation is that it takes so many forms. How can one take in such a view and not have faith? Some look at these moors and think this a godless land. But I tell you, he is found in all domains. The Lord's work is all about
Within
us.
the spam? Well, you caused all
Tell
the
me,
spam,
Miss
Cyrodiil.
Do you believe in God?
Lie.
Yes.
I sensed a hesitation there.
No, I believe in...
Come now. I will not bring the fire and brimstone upon you for speaking your truth.
Well, I was brought up Anglican. The church was an important part of my early life, Father Roach. But what happened to my father eventually made me question things.
If you don't mind me asking, my child, what happened to your father?
He had an accident when I was very young.
Come along now, Thomasina. Let's get out of the rain. Remember what I told you, all right? Be a good girl. People are unwell here. They don't want to hear you running about making noise. Understood?
Yes, Mother.
Good. And don't annoy the nurses.
I promise I won't.
Good. Now, let's see your father.
Mummy? Mummy? Daddy, wake up!
Good evening, Mr. Bateman. Hello, little one. You must be Thomasina?
Yes.
My name is Nurse Blaketon. I just need to talk to your mummy for a little bit. I'm sorry to disturb you, Mrs. Bateman. Mrs. Bateman?
Will he ever talk again, Nurse Blaketon?
The doctor is uncertain, Mrs. Bateman. There is the possibility that Mr. Bateman won't regain any movement at all. But we will do our utmost to look after Mr. Bateman here at Ticehurst Manor. He will have a nurse by his side at all times, I can assure you.
Not in this economy.
What sort of god would allow this fate to befall such a kind and honest man?
I'm sorry to hear this. God moves in mysterious ways, but he loves us all. Come along now.
You know that voice? The vicar's voice? The Roach voice? He reminds me of the voice that put in the other priest from Cathy Rain.
She scampered off
Just
in a
a
hurry.
bit deeper.
Who was that?
Some primitive folk make their home out on the moors. I suggest you keep your wits about you when you are exploring, and don't stray too far from Bewley.
I see. How much farther to Mr. Shoulder's house?
Still quite a walk, I'm afraid, but we'll get to him soon enough. Now then, take a look at this. Legend has it that this cairn has stood here for over 1,000 years.
How remarkable.
The Devil's Toe.
I beg your pardon?
That's what it's called. The Devil's Toe.
Oh, I see.
Come now, onward.
We walked and walked across that vast, featureless landscape. All the while, Father Roach was whistling away merrily. Just as I had begun to wonder if we were hopelessly lost, a building emerged from the mist. Mr. Shoulder's cottage.
Here we are, Miss Bateman. Unless my memory fails me completely, this is Mr. Leonard Shoulder's house.
Thank you for your help, Father Roach.
Now. No need to thank me after your providential assistance today. However, I have something to ask you.
Yes?
Please don't tell Mrs. de Plancy about my little scene in the woods. She will only fret. The poor dear woman has enough on her mind as it is.
I shan't mention it.
Thank you. You'd better see if Mr. Shoulder is in.
Carved stone.
A carved stone has been affixed to the door. I think it depicts a crescent moon. Father, what do you make of this?
A peculiar adornment. I've not seen any like this in Bewley. Though it does remind me of a passage by the bard himself. It is the very error of the moon. She comes nearer earth than she was wont, and makes men mad.
Romeo and Juliet? No. Othello?
Othello?
Precisely, Miss Bateman. Your knowledge of the bard is presently flawless.
I consider myself to be well read, Father Roach.
It's delightful to meet a fellow bookworm, I must say.
Hen.
Here, chuk chuk chuk.
Don't encourage them.
Care to hold one, Father Roach?
Put that thing down, would you?
You're no fun.
What about the
He
rooster?
looks much too unruly to be picked up.
Trousers? Wood.
Mr. Shoulder has stacked blocks of wood neatly beneath this small lean-to.
Very neat and tidy.
I've no desire to lug a block of wood about the countryside. The trousers feel damp. Freshly hung, or still wet from last night's rain?
Dum dum dum. Another glove.
That glove looks familiar. I wonder if it matches the glove I found behind the plough and furrow. The gloves are a pair. Does this mean Mr. Shoulder was in the alley last night? Why didn't he come inside to see me? Slightly damp.
I have a similar one myself. So very warm.
Can you pick up the glove, Leo?
Mr. Shoulder must have dropped. What was he doing in the alley? Rather rude of him not to come inside and see me.
Let's knock on the door.
Mr. Shoulder? Is Thomasina Bateman here? I'm here in Bewley as discussed.
Maybe try again. His hearing probably isn't the best at his age. No sign of life?
None. The window is nice and clean. The dwelling is by no means abandoned. Mr. Shoulder, are you home? It appears Mr. Shoulder is not at home. Curses.
Perhaps you could try the handle?
It's locked.
Perhaps he's gone for a stroll.
Possibly.
I'd suggest you call back later, my child. I myself must make my way back home. I have some matters to attend to at the church. Shall I accompany you back to Bewley?
Nah.
No, you go ahead, Father. Thank you.
As you wish. Farewell, Miss Bateman. I hope Mr. Shoulder finds his way to you.
Thank you for your help, Father Roach.
My pleasure. Parting is such sweet sorrow.
Much ado about nothing?
Oh dear. I thought that was an easy one. Romeo and Juliet.
Of course.
That I shall say good night till it be morrow. Lord be with you.
Well, Mr. Shoulder, I'll just have to find Hob's Barrow myself. A carved stone has been affixed. I think it depicts a... It's bolted onto the door itself. I can't remove it.
What do we got in my inventory? Can we use the trowel?
That is not coming off.
Oops. Can we use the... No.
The window is much too... I've no desire to lug a block of wood about the countryside. He looks much too unruly to be picked up. You're a sweet little thing, aren't you? You're a sweet... He looks much... a fearsome looking...
So we can't really do much here.
As I trudged back to Bewley across those cold moors, I made a new resolution. I would find Hobbs Barrow myself, with or without Mr. Shoulder. The train! That must be Kenneth. I should go and meet him at the station.
Nice titties. Mind if I,
Where is Kenneth? He was supposed to wait for me at the station.
Oh, no, Leonard's Shoulder.
I found Mr. Shoulder's house, but he wasn't home.
Don't worry. You'll find him.
I'm
Kenneth.
looking for my assistant, Kenneth.
Oh, aye.
His train has arrived.
Not a single soul disembarked the last train, Miss Bateman.
Impossible.
Kenneth's train.
Was that not the midday train from London by way of Derby?
Aye, it were. Mr. Price were here. Unloaded a few crates.
But no Kenneth.
Not a soul. Hold on. One of them crates had your name on it, Miss Bateman. A great big one it were, with...
A red ribbon.
Aye.
What is Kenneth playing at, sending my equipment but not himself? Curses.
The crate.
Where is my crate now?
Mr. Price took away all the crates on his cart.
Who?
Mr. Price. He's the postmaster.
The postmaster?
Where can I find Mr. Price?
He lives above the storeroom, just north of the plough and furrow. You'll see it. There's a Royal Mail plaque on the wall.
Thank you. Where can I find...
He lives above... You'll see it.
Thank you.
Hobbs Barrow.
I'm looking for Hobbs Barrow.
Hobbs Barrow.
It's why Leonard Shoulder invited me to Bewley. He thought I might like to excavate it.
Oh, aye. I heard about a Hobbs Barrow somewhere out there. There's some old stories around it.
What stories?
I can't remember.
Mr. Tillett, please. This is important.
I'm awfully sorry, Miss Bateman. I'll try to remember. If he invited you here, then I'm sure Mr. Shoulder will tell you all about it.
That's if I ever get to meet him.
I'm sure you will.
Bye.
Farewell for now.
Ta-ra.
Then let's go to the post office and then I'll get something to drink. We can take the village square and then go to...
That must be the postmaster's storeroom.
Man.
Hello.
Good day. I haven't seen you in Bewley before.
I'm just visiting.
Lovely. It's nice to see a new face. We don't get many visitors. My name's Henry. Henry Long.
Nice to meet you, Henry. Thomasina Bateman.
Wonderful. What a treat.
Himself.
You seem in a good mood, Mr. Long.
It's just lovely to see a new face. Where are you from, Miss Bateman?
Originally, a small town on the outskirts of Derby, Mr. Long. Though I currently reside in London.
London? I've never met anyone from London. How very exciting. Have you lived there a long time?
It's been quite a few years now, yes.
I've heard that the air there is so heavy with smoke, it makes it hard to breathe. Is that true?
Some days.
Oh, you must miss the fresh northern air. Well, you've got that in Bewley. No factories out here. Such things are a blight on his creation. I were born in this very home I stand in front of. Bewley is in my blood. Why would I ever want to leave? Especially now I can meet new folk thanks to the railway line.
Postmaster. I'm looking for Mr. Price, the postmaster.
I'm looking for Mr. Price, the postmaster.
Oh, Mr. Price, my lovely neighbour. I'm afraid you've just missed him.
Curses.
I saw him wheeling a large crate into his storeroom just there.
It must be mine. I really need it.
Have a look through the window to see if it's yours.
Where did Mr. Price go?
Where did Mr. Price go?
I don't know. The man were in a hurry. I know he has family in Bakewell.
That's miles away. Did he leave by foot?
No, by horse. He must be a few miles down the road by now.
Curses.
When will Mr. Price be back?
When will Mr. Price be back?
He didn't say. Could be tonight, could be a few days.
How infuriating.
I told him I'd keep watch of his storeroom, and I'm a man of my word, Miss Bateman. I shall not budge from this spot.
Leonard Shoulder.
Do you know a man named Leonard Shoulder?
Aye, funny old fellow. I hear he lives way out on the moors somewhere.
Have you seen him recently?
No, not for a long while now that you mention it. Why do you ask?
It's a long story, but I was to meet him in Bewley. He invited me here.
Well, I must thank him when I see him for inviting such an enchanting young woman.
You flatter me, Mr. Long.
Hob's Barrow.
I'm looking for Hob's Barrow.
One of those old burial hills?
Yes. Do you know where it is?
Believe it or not, I haven't set foot on the moor since I were a child.
Why is that?
I've got all I need right here in Bewley. And we're all truly blessed with the railway station, which brings us lovely new faces.
Railway station.
Your opinion of the railway station differs widely from your fellow townsfolk, Mr. Long. I've not met anyone particularly keen on it.
That railway line is the start of a new era for Bewley. Mark my words. There's much to protect here, but we need new blood. I hope that some of you visitors will actually stay here permanently.
Why is that?
So I have new friends to talk to. Some people here don't want any new friends. Cyril Farnaby, the miserable old sod, is the worst offender.
Cyril?
I've had the pleasure of meeting Cyril. He really dislikes the railway station.
Absolutely miserable he is. I've tried to convince him many times that the station will help Bewley. He just doesn't understand.
I met him last night in the Plough and Furrow.
Aye, the scene of our many debates. Blimey. I could go for an ale right now, actually.
The Plough and Furrow?
Can I buy you a drink?
Really?
No. Wait. Do you think Mr. Kemp will let me open a tab?
Perhaps. You could always ask him. I shouldn't leave anyway. Mr. Price is relying on me to keep watch of his storeroom.
Goodbye.
Don't be a stranger.
There's my crate. Kenneth always ties a red ribbon to it. I can see an envelope tucked behind the ribbon. Perhaps it can help explain Kenneth's absence. I'm going to have to get in there. Royal Mail. This must be the
Let's talk to Mr. Long.
There's nothing else I wish...
Oh, that was not what I wanted. Take a look around the area and see what I can find out with Mr. Shoulder and Hob's Barrow. I have to locate it, find a way into the storeroom, and open the tab.
This key won't...
The postmaster isn't home.
But my crate is in there.
You'll have to wait for Mr. Price to get back.
God damn
I
it.
can't think.
Okay, let's go back to the village square and go in and open a tap. But I think I'm gonna pause it here, get something to drink. And I'll be right back. I'll see you in a bit. So, now I'm back. I had to get the dishwasher to start, but it's acting up. Resume. We had to get an open tab here. Thank you, Mitra.
Good day, sir.
Leonard's shoulder.
I found Mr. Shoulder's home, thanks to the help of Father Roach.
Wonderful. So you've met our vicar then?
Yes, I did. An interesting character.
Indeed. So, did old Leonard apologise for his absence?
Not quite. He wasn't home.
What is that man playing at?
You tell me.
Hob's Barrow.
I've decided to find Hob's Barrow without Mr. Shoulder's aid.
Are you sure that's a wise idea, lass?
What other choice do I have? I have a feeling he is avoiding me. Do you know where I can find the barrow?
No, sorry. I say that on my mother's grave, Miss Bateman.
Kenneth.
My assistant has not arrived as planned.
Oh, is everything all right?
I'm not entirely sure.
Am I to keep a room for him just in case?
If you could hold it for one more night, Mr. Kemp.
As you wish.
Lord Panswick.
What can you tell me about Lord Panswick?
A most charming man, Miss Bateman. He looks after us here, a good fellow.
Where does he live?
Panswick Manor, on the moors. No visitors allowed. His lordship likes his privacy.
Opening a tab.
I'm sorry to ask this, Mr. Kemp, but could I please open a tab?
Still not in your purse?
I'm afraid not. My assistant hasn't arrived as planned, so I find myself in a bind. He must have put the money in my crate, which is currently being held in Mr. Price's storeroom.
Well, as you know, I run an honest establishment here, and I do trust you. So yes, I'll open an account for you, to be settled at the end of your stay.
Of course. Thank you, Mr. Kemp.
Now then, I'll be needing something of value as a deposit.
I thought you said you trusted me.
Aye, it's not personal, lass. One can never be too cautious.
How can I open a tab again?
Leave me and I'll give it when it will be.
Goodbye.
See you.
Something of value. Silver necklace?
Will you accept this silver cross pendant as a deposit?
Can I take a closer look at it? Aye, silver. That'll do.
Thank you, Mr. Kemp.
Can I get you something to drink?
Yeah, one drink won't hurt.
A tankard of your finest ale, Mr. Kemp.
There we are. That's 2 pence on your account.
Thank you. Most agreeable. I've stored my case in a box with... I don't wish to take... I've hung my aside from... I don't wish to...
So there's nothing here. Can I borrow maybe some tools from the blacksmith?
I must say... Hello?
Hob's Barrow?
I really must find Hob's Barrow.
What did I tell you last time? Not to be found digging around in those things.
Goodbye.
Ta-ra.
I can't remove the plaque. A small plaque beside the door reads Vicarage. That's a peculiar idea.
I think it works.
I don't think any... The door has been boarded up. The building looks like a ruin. Good day.
Yes?
Are you sure you don't know where Hob's Barrow is?
Sorry, lass.
Thanks for your time.
Aye.
The blacksmith is... Alas, it is not mine to take.
I take the bucket.
Bucket is rust. Hello.
Good day.
Father Roach's health.
Father Roach asked me not to discuss that with Mrs. Duplancy.
Don't ask.
Are you sure you don't know where Hobbs Barrow is?
Hobbs, what?
Never mind. Thank you for your time.
Lord be with you.
So there's nothing here.
It's
Let's go back to the woodcutters. Can't remember, have we been down here? Oh, Cyril.
Good day to you, Cyril.
How do, lass?
Himself.
What are you up to, Cyril?
Keeping an eye on that bleeding railway station. That's what. Thankfully, no one got off the last train.
Really hate that station, don't you?
Oh, I curse Midland Railway for bringing their damn line through Bewley. This is our town, our land. 'Tis no place for outsiders.
So you keep saying.
Anyway, no more trains today. Almost time to celebrate with an ale, I think.
I could do with one myself.
You just had one.
No.
Leonard's shoulder.
I found Mr. Shoulder's house today, but he wasn't home.
Why the bleeding hell should I care, lass?
I'm looking for Hobbs Barrow. Do you know where it is?
Mind your own business, lass.
You really are quite helpful, aren't you?
Bah.
What do you make of Henry Long?
An idiot who thinks that station's a good idea. Can you imagine? Strangers pouring into Bewley. Turns the stomach, that does.
Maybe he has a point. You could travel.
Bah. You're an outsider. I'd expect you to have such a bad opinion. But Henry, he's a Bewley lad. We've had the odd Barney or two in the pub over it all.
I can imagine.
The plough and furrow.
Can I buy you a drink, Cyril?
Now?
Yes.
Go on then, lass.
Follow me.
So then he turns around and says, "Why is a dog like a tree?" And I says, "I don't know." And he says, "Because they both lose their bark once they're dead."
Very droll, Cyril. Well, it's been a pleasure, but I must be off.
Aye, lass. Ta for the drink. You're not too bad for an outsider. Thanks again for the... Now leave me be.
Wow.
I have nothing else to ask for the time being. A humbled.
Just want to see if anybody's home or someone we haven't talked to yet.
I don't think anyone is home.
Ooh.
Yo, Strider. That was one of the...
I'm ready for some action. No!
That was Duke.
There's nothing else
So nothing here. "15 stream streak, thank you." They're still at it.
Do you know where I can find a place called Hob's Barrow?
Never heard of it.
Thanks for your time.
We'll be done by tomorrow morning. Come back then if you want to explore the woods.
Squirrel!
I've no desire to go rooting about in there.
Hey, where's the kid
He
at?
took Myrtle.
Pardon?
He took her and ran off. I hate him.
Is Myrtle one of your dolls?
Yes, my favourite. Mummy made her for me. She's so beautiful. Wally is the worst brother in the whole world.
Myrtle?
Why did your brother take Myrtle away?
He's just jealous because Daddy is letting me come with him to the market tomorrow. Wally thinks I'm Daddy's favourite, so he took Myrtle from me. What if he rips her to tatters? What if he feeds her to Mr. Bryden's goat?
Don't worry, Jane. I'm sure he wouldn't do such a thing. Where did your brother go?
I don't know. Home, maybe. But I have to wait here for Myrtle's friends to dry out.
Hob's Barrow?
Have you heard of a place called Hob's Barrow?
I have, yes.
You have?
We aren't supposed to talk about it.
Why not?
Would you like to go there?
Yes, I would very much like to.
I'll tell you where it is if you find Myrtle for me.
You will?
Yes! But don't tell anyone about it or I'll be told off.
I promise.
Please find Myrtle first. I miss her.
I will. Where do you live?
Our home is on the other side of the village, miss. Maybe Wally went back there. Or maybe he's left her out on the moors. Poor Myrtle. I'm going to kick him so hard.
Goodbye.
Bye, miss.
We would be honored if you would join us.
Coyote, welcome. And thank you for the follow. How are you doing, fine sir? On the other side of the village. All doing well here. That's good to hear. Hope you're enjoying your Sunday or Saturday. That is what I've been told, that this is a creepy game, and they have flagged it as a horror game, so...
Nobody home.
But this is my first playthrough. I've heard so much about it, trying to avoid streams and people talking about it, so yeah. I'm giving it a go. Myrtle.
Jane tells me you've taken Myrtle away.
And what if I did?
That's a bit mean, don't you think?
She kicked me! Look at this bruise on my leg!
That does look quite bad. Why did she kick you?
Because she's a little goblin. You don't know what she can be like. Besides, Myrtle is gone now. I've given her to the fair folk. That'll teach her.
The fair folk?
Who are the fair folk?
The little people of the moors. I gave Myrtle to them.
Little people? You don't mean fairies, do you?
We call them fair folk round here.
Wally, there is no such thing as fairies.
It's two, and I gave them a doll.
The fair
Where
folk?
can I find these fair folk?
Follow the tinkle of their tiny bells. I hear them when the wind dies. They dance around their little house.
But where is this little house?
Just listen for the bells, you'll find it. Don't think about bringing that doll back. That'll just bring bad luck for all of us.
Hob's
Are
Barrow?
you sure you don't know anything about Hob's Barrow? I would very much like to find it.
No.
Goodbye.
Listen for the bells.
The road disappears over the horizon. I see nothing but moorland. I have nothing else to...
Okay. And we can't get inside there yet.
I'd better not touch them. It looks like something has been buried in the middle.
I wonder.
Thomasina, please stop leaving your toys lying about the place. What happened the last time you left your dolly under the tree?
A fox ate it, madame.
Yes, it did. Fetch it now, won't you? Then I'll fix your supper.
Yes, madame. What's for supper, madame?
It'll be nothing but a glass of water and a worm if you don't fetch your dolly right this instant.
Hello, fairies. Hello, It's the gateway to the fairy kingdom.
The statue.
Hello. There you are, Josephine. I won't let the foxes eat you.
Who's that you have there, little bird?
Josephine. She introduced me to the fairies.
Oh, fairies, you say?
Yes, Daddy.
Do you believe in fairies?
Of course. Do you see those mushrooms over there?
Yes.
That's the gateway to their kingdom. That's where Josephine and I go to talk to the fairies.
Now, listen to me, Thomasina.
Yes?
You're old enough now to hear this. There's no such thing as fairies or talking dolls, my little bird.
What do you mean?
I'm sorry, my dear child. I do not wish to upset you. I just want to make sure that you understand the difference between fantasy and reality. Josephine is just a doll, and fairies do not exist.
But, Daddy...
Science is the great antidote to the poison of enthusiasm and superstition. Please always remember that. If you hear anything about fairies or the like again, know that it's hogwash. What is it?
Just destroying a child's memories.
Hogwash. Did Wally bury the doll, I wonder?
What's next? That he's gonna tell Santa Claus isn't real?
This must be Jane's ragdoll.
And there's...
Perhaps these wriggling worms are the fair folk young Wally was so fearful of. How strange. There is a hairpin pierced through the arm. This may come in handy. I'll keep it. At least I shall not return from Bewley empty-handed.
You all know Santa lives at the Arctic Circle. Well, that's a matter of discussion, because some people believe he lives in different areas.
The moors stretch into the distance. I don't wish to wander aimlessly.
Near Rosenheim, Finland? Yeah, somebody says he lives in Greenland.
John Purchase, dearly beloved...
No, I said you had to exit. Now we can go give the doll.
It's Jane's creepy ragdoll. I present to you Myrtle.
Myrtle! I missed you so much.
Now, I believe we had a deal.
Hide and seek.
Come back! It's in moments like these I thank myself for not having children. I can't pry the fossil from the rock with my bare hands. They aren't mine to take. Hey! Jane? Jane, get out of there. Don't make me come in. Fine. Curses. The hole is too small for me to fit through.
The trowel?
I was always happiest with a trowel in my hand, uncovering hidden worlds within the earth itself, clod by clod. That should do it. Jane! Jane? Jane, come out this instant. I can't see a damned thing in here. I need a light source.
We don't have
Jane?
any. Where was the post office? It was this way, right? Yes. Can we use the hairpin on the door?
I can't try to pick the lock whilst Mr. Long is standing there. Hello?
Good day.
Can I buy you a drink, Henry?
Really?
Really? We can talk more at the inn.
But I told Mr. Price I'd keep watch of his storeroom.
Doors have locks for this very reason.
You're right. One drink won't take long. I shall take you up on your offer, Miss Bateman.
Let us make our way.
To think, if that station hadn't been built, we would never have met. Blessed be the Midland Railway.
Idiot! That station is the worst decision this village has ever made!
Cyril Farnaby, a miserable man with miserable ideas. I will change your mind even if it kills me.
Post office. So let's go to the post office. Since they're sitting there and arguing.
Kenneth taught me this useful trick. A hairpin is much more than a hair accessory. A few wiggles and this lock should spring right open. I've snapped the hairpin in the process, but I managed to unlock the door. Let's open this envelope. There's a note inside.
I beg for your forgiveness. A matter of grave urgency has arisen in London, and I cannot join you in Belway. I packed your usual equipment and pray you will find local assistance in my absence. I look forward to seeing you upon your return. Yours faithfully, Kenneth Murdoch.
How very frustrating. I wonder what happened. I'd better get this to the alley before Mr. Long comes back. Moving a fully laden crate through the village square was no easy task. Somehow, no one was there to witness it. But I didn't give up, because I never give up, do I, Mother? I am as stubborn as my father, as you liked to remind me. Wait. Where is my money? It's not in here. Kenneth, you absolute liability of a man. It looks like everything else is in here. Picks, specimen trays, shovels. Oh, my chisel, I'll take that. Ah, my lantern. It feels light. There mustn't be any oil inside. I'll leave the rest in the crate. Stanley assured me things would be safe here. No money and no assistant. This is most inconvenient. Still, I've been in worse situations. I've got a tab at the inn for now. I'll worry about money later. I must find that barrow and get on with the excavation.
So what did we get? We got the lantern. We got the chisel.
I need paraffin to fuel my lantern. I've had this for years. It's looking like it could break at any moment, really.
So... I wonder if we can go and take that from the kids.
This is where I dug up Jane's ragdoll. You're coming with me, little fellow. I shall name you Kenneth. I've already taken one.
So we took a worm. Okay. I forgot where were the kids. They were at the square and then north.
Good day.
Yes?
I was wondering if you might be able to spare some lantern oil.
I don't have much to spare, lass. Paraffin is as rare as hen's teeth in these parts. How much coin do you have?
None, I'm afraid.
If you're in a bind, I can trade you a small amount.
A trade, you say?
Aye.
What can I trade?
Surprise me.
Thanks for your...
Aye.
A worm?
I don't think Miss...
A glove? Nah. Let's go see if we can chisel that thing off the... Maybe we can trade the fossil for it?
Splendid. I've managed to extract it in one piece. An exceptional ammonite fossil.
Uh-huh. Do you want a fossil?
Would you trade some of your paraffin for this fossilized ammonite, Mr. Crozier?
Now then, 'tis a beauty that. It looks familiar. I'll take it off your hands.
Wonderful.
Let me fetch some paraffin from inside. There you are.
Thank you, Mr. Crozier.
Yay, got an achievement. So... Dark cave.
I should fill the lantern with paraffin before I go in there. Fumbling in the dark may cause me to spill the oil. My lantern is fueled and ready for action. Right, let's put this lantern to good use. Jane, come out at once. Goodness me! Jane!
Silly, what are you doing in that smelly old badger's hole?
You were in there.
No, I weren't.
Yes, you were.
Not true. I was hiding behind that tree over there. I got bored of waiting for you.
So where can I find Hob's Barrow?
Go north from the church graveyard, up the hill. You'll see some muddy fields on the horizon. That's Mr. Bryden's farm. Hob's Barrow is there. Don't tell any grown-ups I told you. And thanks for getting Myrtle back.
My pleasure. Thank you, Jane. You've been a great help.
Squirrel! North from the church.
As I trudged through the barren moors, with only the odd sheep for company, I reflected upon my visit to Bewley thus far. The enigmatic Mr. Shoulder and his puzzling disappearance. The townsfolk of Bewley who had made it as difficult as they could for me to find Hob's Barrow. The suspicion, the wariness in their eyes. Only now I know it was actually fear. In the end, it was the innocence of a child, young Jane, that condemned me to my fate. I've no desire to wander the furrows.
Speaking of which, let me check my to-do list. Still have to look around and ask Mr. Brighton's permission to excavate.
What do you want?
Introduce myself.
My name is Thomasina Bateman. Mr. Bryden, I presume.
Aye? What do you want, lass?
Hob's Barrow.
I understand Hob's Barrow is located on your land.
Oh, well, yes. Why do you ask?
I am an antiquarian, Mr. Bryden. I'm writing a volume on the barrows of England.
Oh, I suppose you'll be wanting to dig about it.
If at all possible, Mr. Bryden. I was invited to Bewley by Mr. Leonard Shoulder, who told me such an excavation would be possible.
Leonard Shoulder? Ha! I haven't seen him in years. The last I heard he were on death's door. There's to be no more digging there, lass. Not since it went so badly last time.
Last time?
Was there a previous excavation of Hob's Barrow?
Aye. Me brother dug it up. Must have been, 25 years ago. You see, whatever he found inside, well, it drove him mad.
Oh?
Aye. I moved back here to look after him. Poor bastard hanged himself not long after.
I'm sorry, Mr. Bryden. That's terrible.
Aye. Time passes, but it were an awful thing.
Himself.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Bryden.
I live here with my wife, and I might be long in tooth, but I can still run this farm without too much help.
His brother.
What did your brother find?
Samuel. Samuel were his name.
Sorry, what did Samuel find in the barrow?
I don't know. But something went wrong. Afterward, he could barely speak. You couldn't make out a word, like.
That must have been hard.
You lost a hand in that excavation too, you know.
Goodness me, how?
I try hard not to speculate on what might have happened, lass. I'd see him disappear into that barrow, dragging timber in with him. You'd hear him hammering away for hours. I offered him help, but he'd have none of it. Soon enough, he blocked the entrance off. To look at it now, you'd never know the thing we dug up. The landers reclaimed it.
The other men.
Who else was involved in the excavation?
2 others, I believe. Outsiders, perhaps. I can't say for sure. I think they left town pretty swiftly afterwards. I lived in Bakewell at the time. I only moved back here to look after Samuel. I took over the farm when he passed away.
I see.
His wife. No, the farm.
What can you tell me about your farm?
Samuel's fair to side. We're a fortunate family. The soil is fertile here. Crops grow without too much trouble. All the other farmers round here raise livestock. Even Lord Panswick. We grow feed for him.
Most fortunate, Mr. Bryden.
His wife?
Is your wife home?
She's out in fields, lass. Pulling weeds. The curse of such fertile soil. 40 years we've been married. I couldn't do it without her, you see.
How splendid.
Aye. My wife is a fine woman. Are you married, lass?
No. I've had my fair share of proposals, Mr. Bryden, but that's not the life for me.
Marriage is an important institution. You'll find a man one day.
I manage rather well without one, Mr. Bryden.
Leonard's shoulder.
You haven't seen Mr. Shoulder for some time?
I hear about him now and then, but it must be a good few years since I set eyes on him.
He hasn't been here to visit Hobbs Barrow?
Not to my knowledge. I heard he's beset by ailments. Don't leave his home often.
How odd. I assumed he'd spoken to you about my visit.
Not at all.
Lord Panswick.
What can you tell me of Lord Panswick?
He keeps us going. Most of our crops go to feed his animals.
What is he like?
Oh, I've hardly laid eyes on him. He sends his workers here to pick up the crops.
I see.
Leonard's shoulder.
You say Mr. Shoulder is at death's door. What exactly ails him?
I'm unsure. It's just what I've heard. I wouldn't want to speculate on matters that are not my business.
Permission to excavate.
Mr. Bryden, may I please have your permission to excavate Hobbs Barrow?
No. Have you not been listening, lass? Samuel found something in there that's best left to rot. No digging here, lass.
Wouldn't you like to find out what happened? Samuel found in there.
Wouldn't you like to find out more about what Samuel found in there?
Perhaps. But Samuel boarded up that barrow for a reason. You don't want to tempt the same fate, lass.
Perhaps I can at least see Hobbs Barrow.
Perhaps I can at least see Hobbs Barrow.
I suppose you've come a long way to be here, lass.
All the way from London, Mr. Bryden.
Have you any proof of all you've told me?
Proof?
You wish to see proof of what, Mr. Bryden?
I can't let any Tom, Dick or Harry wander around me fields. What proof have you of your claims?
You wish to see proof...
I can't let any Tom... What proof?
Thanks for your...
Ta-ra.
Got the letters?
Here is proof that Mr. Shoulder invited me to Bewley in order to excavate Hobbs Barrow.
Leonard making bold promises, I see. Don't make me regret this. But yes, you can have a look at it.
Thank you.
Any road. Once you've set your eyes on it, you won't be wanting to outdo with it. The place gives one a queer feeling.
So where can I find it?
Through that gate to your left. Just head straight across the top to the field there. After 10 minutes or so, you'll see Barrow, set on a hill ahead.
Thank you again, Mr. Bryden. I really do appreciate it. I have nothing else to... I probably should have brought my umbrella. Perhaps I could take a closer look. AR. I haven't a clue what that could be referring to. Finally, here it is. Hob's Barrow. Indeed, a barrow of a most unusual rectangular form. I've not seen something like this since West Kennet Long Barrow. Yes, this shall make a fine entry for my book. What secrets do you conceal, I wonder? In good time. That smell. Earthy and sweet.
Three, 2, 1. You can open your eyes now, Thomasina. Come. Are you ready for your first excavation?
Yes, Daddy.
Capital. Make sure you remember everything I've taught you. I have a feeling you might find something special.
How exciting!
I'll be watching from the steps, my little bird. Good luck!
Thank you, Daddy.
Dirt.
Thomasina, we don't dig with our hands.
Trowel.
Now I'm ready.
This dirt?
Nothing here.
This dirt?
No treasures here. Treasure! Daddy, I found the treasure! Look!
Well done, little bird. Your first successful excavation. That urn you're holding is very old and precious. Take good care of it, all right?
I will, Daddy. I promise.
I do have a feeling there is something exceptional to be discovered here. I must gain Mr. Bryden's permission to excavate. I do have a feeling I must gain...
Anything here to the left? No. It's getting dark.
Darkness falls quickly here. I should make my way back to the inn. I shouldn't disturb...
Wow. A lot of fog here, huh? Mr. Crozier.
Good evening, Mr. Crozier.
Evening. Thanks again for the fossil, lass. 'Tis truly a beauty.
You're most welcome. How long have you been collecting fossils?
Ever since I were a boy. The moors look a barren place, but there are plenty of fossils to be found in the rock formations. All manner of creatures to uncover.
Such a playground for a young lad. What's your favourite piece in your collection?
The ammonite you gave me today. The most recent is always the best.
Indeed.
What about you, lass? Do you collect out?
I do. You see, I'm writing a book on the Barrows of England. It shall be called Vestiges of the Antiquities in Rural England. I document all my findings.
But what do you collect?
Pottery, tools and such.
Bones too, no doubt.
No, I leave those in place.
You've got a morbid heart, lass. Fussing about in old graves like that.
We're not dissimilar in that we both take an interest in the remains of the long gone.
I suppose you have a point there. How's your book coming along, then?
Very well, thank you. Though I'm rather keen to begin my chapter on Hobbs Barrow. Thanks for your time.
Aye. Speak to you later.
Good evening, gentlemen.
What are you gonna do about him?
If he thinks he can take her away from here, he's got another thing coming. I am gonna knock his bloody block off. In fact, I can think of a better punishment. Oi, what do you want, lady? Piss off.
You heard the man.
Charming. Those men are rather
What about this man over here?
Good evening, sir. I'll leave you to it.
Oh, kitty!
I don't wish to wake him up.
Cyril.
Hello again, Cyril.
You're still here?
Did Mr. Long convince you of the virtues of Bewley Station?
What the hell do you think? Now bugger off and leave me to me drink.
He seems even more wound up than usual. I must say, last night...
Good evening, Miss Bateman.
Good evening, Stanley.
Hobbs Barrow.
I found Hobbs Barrow.
Oh, remember what I said, Miss Bateman? There are stories connected to that place.
Yes, stories you won't elaborate on, I might add. Don't worry about me, Stanley. I'm quite capable of warding off imagined fiends.
I have no doubt, but please leave that place be.
I've come this far, there's no turning back now.
That's precisely what worries me.
Order a drink.
A mug of your finest ale, please.
There we are. That's 2 pence on your account.
Thank you. Goodbye.
See you soon.
Do I want to go to bed or...
The sun has set and rain has swept in. I shan't go out again tonight. The sun...
Okay. I guess we go to bed.
Time for bed. Tomorrow I shall convince Mr. Bryden to allow me to begin my excavation.
Miss Bateman. How are you?
Tired.
Gonna buy you a drink?
Yeah, won't hurt.
One won't hurt.
Excellent. I feel bad about what happened last night. I'm sorry I can't remember it.
That's all right, Mr. Tillett. Alcohol can do all sorts of damage to one's memory.
I was thinking that maybe if we had another drink tonight, I might remember what happened.
I'm not sure that's logical.
But worth trying?
I don't need any further convincing.
Take your seat, Miss Bateman. I shall return with the goods.
To Leonard Shoulder.
Wherever he may be. I've been meaning to ask you something.
Yes?
Why did Leonard Shoulder ask you to dig up Hobbs Barrow?
Despite his disappearing act the previous evening, not to mention his questionable sobriety, I decided Mr. Tillett was to be my ally. I spoke again of Mr. Shoulder's letter, his proposed excavation, and my status as an antiquarian and barrow digger. He was fascinated and quite excited at the prospect of meeting the soon-to-be author of a real-life book.
You must find all manner of riches on your digs.
Barrow digging is not all success, Mr. Tillett. Often I'll come across the likeliest of sites steeped in promise. We set to work with shovel and pick and all the other barrow opening paraphernalia you can imagine. Every stone carefully taken down, every shovel full of earth put dutifully through the sieve, and we find nothing. Or you may find a miserable remnant of animal bone or a shard of pottery hardly to be recognized from the peat in which it decayed. Sometimes it's as if some Neolithic humorist prepared an elaborate practical joke for your special benefit.
It still sounds much more exciting than spending your days sitting in England's most remote railway station.
Are you all right, Mr. Tillett?
I've had another argument with Agnes.
Your wife?
Aye. She didn't want me coming to the plough tonight. Truth is, I've been drinking my life away since my mother passed.
Oh, that's terrible. I'm sorry for your loss.
You're kind, Miss Bateman. Thank you. It's been a year since the old girl left us. She had a horrible end, wasting away, day by day. Consumption got her. She was naught but bones by the end. I can't get the image out of my mind. She were everything to me.
I'm so sorry.
I apologise for going on, Miss Bateman. It's not appropriate.
Don't worry, Mr. Tillett. I appreciate your openness.
Used to love going for walks out in the moor, my mother and I, ever since I were a little one. She'd get a tear in her eye as she looked out upon it. She loved this land. I asked Mr. Crozier to build a bench, which we've erected at her favourite lookout spot on the moors. Margaret's Lookout, we called it. Aye.
That's a beautiful tribute.
Aye. If you take a seat there, do keep her in your thoughts, won't you?
Of course, Mr. Tillett. I can relate in some manner. My father had an accident when I was very young. He's still alive, but he can neither move nor speak. He spends his entire life bedbound and incapable of communicating or looking after himself in any way.
How dreadful.
He was a barrow digger himself, an antiquarian of some renown. He taught me so much, even though I was so young. I think writing this book is my way of carrying on his work. It helps me reclaim those earlier memories of him, and I visit him often to tell him all about my excavations.
Can he hear you?
I've no idea. The doctors aren't sure. I'd do anything to make him better, Mr. Tillett. I'd do anything to bring him back to the man he was. I am in a state of suspended mourning for a man caught between life and death.
Dreadful. Just dreadful.
We all have our weaknesses. Mine just happens to be my father.
And what of your mother?
A cold woman. We haven't talked in quite some time. I think she blamed me for my father's accident somehow.
You were but a child.
Indeed. She thus saw it fit that a governess should raise me as she spent her life grieving for my father.
Well then, I propose a toast.
A toast to what?
A shared sense of loss.
I'll toast to that, Arthur. Now then, enough of this wallowing.
Let us be merry. Another round.
I really shouldn't. But I did. And another after that. And another. The frustrations of my visit to Bewley slipped away with each swill of Stanley's finest ale. We had great fun that night, Mr. Tillett and I. I treasure the memory.
Go on then. Let's hear those pipes.
Mustn't.
Sing the song.
You're incorrigible.
Please. You'll make a sad man happy.
Oh, all right then.
I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay. No.
Clasps, celts, and arrowheads I'll try to claw within my clutch. And if a shield I should espy, I'll vow there ne'er was such.
With popish tricks and relics rare, the priests their flocks do gull. In casting out the earth take care. Huzzah! I've found a skull!
Oh, wow.
Hello, Thomasina.
What is this? Who are you?
I'm the one that saved your father.
What do you mean?
You were here 25 years ago.
My father?
You were deep down with the others. You were there, and something went wrong. I dragged him out.
Impossible.
I helped him then, and I can help him again.
I don't understand.
Believe my words. You'll find proof in morning. Now go. One more thing. This is not a dream.
Second day. Expisher?
Goodness, that was a terrible sleep.
And I'm gonna say goodnight. Because it's getting late. But I'll definitely stream again tomorrow. This is a wicked game. I'm really enjoying it. You're welcome, Mitchell. I'm really enjoying it. You know what? Let's go over here. Let's go over to... thank you, Buck, and Mitchell, and Strider, Coyote for the follow. But I'm definitely going to say goodnight. I'm tired. So, thank you everybody for being here, and I'll definitely stream again tomorrow. I don't know when. Probably around midnight.